Alright, this is going to be a quick little update on Jaidens Endec. So, this is basically fixed, to my knowledge. Like, rather, it's not completely repaired, but we know what the problem is now, so that's a lot better than we were. It is not a problem with the ROM, it is not a problem with the processor, or any of this logic stuff. The chip that was right there is the issue. It's the same one as this, which, you might be able to read that. There it is. That chip takes a PCM signal in, which is what the processor was generating, and converts it to an analog audio signal out. Well, there was a PCM signal coming in, and the chip was enabled, but there was not an analog signal coming out. So that would be why no audio was coming out of this thing at all, anywhere. So I guess that chip is completely responsible for generating every single tone and just everything. I don't really know what the top one's for. I'm assuming that maybe these chips can only operate in decode or encode mode, like one at a time. It's possible. So maybe this one's for decoding, this one's for encoding. I have no idea. But all I know is that the one that was there is not functional. So, yeah, I removed those mux chips just because I didn't trust them. Put sockets there. Put a socket where that chip is. We can't find that. We can't find a valid replacement, so it's kind of annoying. We can't really do much more with it, but now when we do find a valid replacement, we could just get it and then get mux chips and put them in sockets, not have to deal with soldering. The only other thing that really needs to be replaced is that, which is where the voltage regulator was for the negative 12-volt rail. And these buttons are just in terrible condition. But that's just a common problem with these Sage Index is, I mean, I put that button there just so I'd have a down button so I could actually operate the thing. But these buttons are they're not very sturdy. I mean, even on mine, which is over here in this mess, even mine, my up button doesn't work. So what I have to do is when I'm in the menu, I have to push this, which returns you all the way back to the the top, then go down if I miss it, which is just a pain. So, yeah, these buttons are just unreliable. But, hey, that works as a replacement for now. And I guess I should explain what happened here. So, previously, the EEPROM contents were mismatched. Well, there's a procedure that I gained the knowledge of through Sage technical support. You can set this jumper, and then I don't remember which buttons it was, but you would hold down certain buttons on power up, and the ROM, the processor, it had it built in, would automatically fix its own EEPROM. So that is just great. So it's back to a bootable state. I would turn it on, but without them being on the actual case, these regulators get very, very hot. So yeah, that's the current status. I think we can actually repair this, believe it or not. I mean, it's been through a lot, and it had a lot of issues, but I think that we can fix it. I cleaned up the bottom of the board as much as I could. This is a little bit painful, but I never cleaned up the flux because I soldered this at the museum, and they were closing soon, so I had to leave. But once I cleaned that up, the bottom of the board is in a lot better state than it was, so that's good. And there's headers on all the test points now. Yeah. It's kind of annoying. I took, like, all the probes of this logic analyzer and I had them all connected, and it was such a pain to get them on there, and then it didn't even end up being a logic problem. It was just a problem with a PCM chip. I thought that there was something wrong. There had to be something wrong with the ROM or something, and because I couldn't understand why it wouldn't boot up. And I was thinking, oh, maybe it's not generating the right tones because it stores them in the EEPROM as wavetables or something, but nope, it was just one chip that was not working right, and figured it out now, so that's the current status. It does receive alerts now, so that's good. It can decode the AFSK signal, and everything works except encoding, which I looked at the input to that PCM chip, and there was a valid signal there, and it was generating what signal it should have, so yeah, it's workable. It's just a pain to fix because we can't find the replacement chip. So yeah, that's the status. This will probably be the last update I ever do on it, unless we get it fixed and a new chip in there, then I'll probably just post a short update of it working, but it receives. That's a lot better than it doing nothing. So I'd say that's a success.